All right, everybody. So thank you for joining me. It is the 10th of June for Silat, and like usual, we will acknowledge all the different martial arts that influence us, not just the area in which we're training. So abbreviated Chinese, abbreviated Filipino, Thai, abbreviated Indonesian, French and Dog Brothers, and Japanese. And just the reason I'm verbalizing it that way, I'll go over again the salutation on Monday for JKD and Wing Chun. It's the same. For Silat, when I say Indonesian, everybody just try this, okay? So you start heavy on your left foot. You're almost like in a cat stance with your right foot. Right foot's very light, hands open. You bring your right foot in and this is my left hand on top of my right as those hands go on your upper thigh. Your hands roll up. And again, this is my right hand inside my left hand. My left hand is on the outside. Your hands come down and you make a fist with your right hand, and they go back up and it opens. Then you cover your eyes, cover your heart, and then wipe. Okay, so again, you're here, relaxed, just weight on the left foot, bring it in, roll your hands up, bring your hands down and make a right fist, and then open it and bring it back up, cover your eyes, cover your heart, and then wipe. Okay, and over 15 years of being an educator in public schools, I always get a little antsy about when I qualify things the way I'm about to. I'll go over the words with you. I just find the words very pretty, okay? But I'm gonna say almost the same thing that I would say if I were teaching this or teaching in like a public school. This is not Sunday school. You're not praying to me. You're not praying to some Indonesian god. I don't want to offend anybody. I just think these words are pretty. And if you'd like to know more about what you're kind of following me, what this symbolizes, that's what I'm doing right now. And since I'm recording it, this way it's out in the world and people know it. And this, I am interested very much in preservation, that these ideas are kept moving forward. So the word I'm not asking you to say it out loud if you don't want to, or I just want you to know what it represents. It's, I present myself to the Creator. In the beginning, I present myself to the best of my abilities. I ask from the Creator in the knowledge of the art. I receive from the Creator the things I cannot see engraved upon my heart until the end. Okay, so I think it's pretty. It's pretty. That's what those movements are supposed to, represent. That's a salutation. If you take a traditional Penchak Silat Sarah class, you'll do everybody recites it and they do the full-on salutation. So again, and I was just discussing this idea with somebody yesterday. My sensibilities in this time and this space, I want to cause as little trauma to people as possible. Okay, this is a really difficult time period. So maybe I'm overdoing it. I wanted to show you that, and hopefully I didn't offend anybody. Okay, so when we go from Thai to Indonesian, this right there, that whole thing, that's what that is abbreviating. Okay, so or I don't mind putting this on video either, because I believe in giving credit to your sources. The salutation at OC Kickboxing, founded by Daniel Sullivan. He's a senior guy in the Inosanto lineage, very talented instructor in Irvine, California. They would just go Chinese, Filipino, Thai, French, and then maybe Japanese too, because they had Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I think what I added was going from here to here to add in that Silat kind of a flavor. Okay, so what I'd really like to do is increase your understanding of how the curriculum moves through the stand-up basics, the bread and butter. So everybody get in a left lead, okay? So we're gonna do this in the air. I'm gonna go quickly. I'll try to leave some time for questions. If you have a question, you know, wave or we'll figure it out, okay? So all 6 of these are my partners giving me the jab, the orthodox lead jab. So if I split, my left hand grabs the wrist, my right forearm takes the straight arm bar, I force them down, I'm standing in front of them, I sweep back with my right foot, that's the beset, I knee them in the face as I go hook their other foot, and then I sweep that foot out and they'll take a fall. That's technique 1. Leg sweep in front of the body. Also called beset dalam in Indonesian, also called silhig in Filipino. And that's going to be important, silhig. But we'll get back to that, okay? Technique 2, so the person's throwing. As we've trained it together, what you've seen from me, I'm just going to do the way that I prefer to do it. And that way you're learning it and you can grow from there. I like to parry with my rear hand, step in and anchor under their armpit with my left hand, and we're shin to shin at this point without banging our shins. I sweep with my left foot and collapse with my right foot. So that's an inside foot sweep. Technique number 2, sapu dalam in Indonesian or walisk in Filipino. Okay, now silhig for technique 1 is going to be a little bit more important. And again, am I showing off? No, I like to teach the terminology. If you care to learn it, awesome. If you can only remember it in English, awesome. If you need to invent your own names and they help you remember the techniques, awesome. Please share them with me. And if I like them, when I use them, I will always give you credit because that's the way that I like to do things. I'm always looking for better ways to explain this material to as many people as possible. So I welcome that. Technique 3, outside foot sweep, right? So that the way we get into it is a little harder, but I've standardized it. Split entry, kind of open that up, right downward diagonal elbow into a right anchor on their right shoulder. Now you're going to hit them with a right knee and push down their shoulder line away from you to the right, about 45 degrees. You end up standing outside of their left foot. Then I have downward diagonal pressure with my right hand with a rising diagonal pressure with my right foot, okay? And I'm going to go through these basic 6, and then what I will do is feed them to you and do on the receiver side what would happen, so that way at least you can see it and maybe visualize it a little bit better. But keep in mind, working through all of this with the technology is kind of forcing us to do modern Silat in the traditional way. It's like we're modern because we're focused on the application, but traditional because we're doing it with a kembangan. We're expressing it in the air because that's kind of what we have available to ourselves right now. It's an interesting time period. Okay, technique 4, leg sweep behind their body. Behind their body. So it's beset luar in Indonesian. It's still silhig in Filipino. So they jab. Again, maybe you split entry. My right hand grabs that left wrist, and I push that away from me to the right, again at like a 45-degree angle. As I step in with the left side of my body, my left foot is behind them. My left hand would be on their right shoulder. I'm just going to come into the frames. Okay, so I'm standing behind them here. Now, I continue pulling on their wrist as I use this cutting motion, the clothesline motion with my left hand as my left leg sweeps back. So you're doing like clothesline over on the high line over the top, and this would be behind them. That cuts down. So they fall over your left leg. Yeah. Okay. And this is my observation from being involved with this for, a little more than a minute. If you're in the Inosanto perspective, the emphasis is more on the anchor point at their wrist and cutting with your left hand and just kind of having them fall over your left leg. Traditionally, like this, and I might not even move my left leg. They just trip over it and they fall onto their back, okay? Versus traditionally, that has to be there because that is actually the technique. It's a leg sweep behind their body, behind them. The first one was in front of them. This one is behind their body. That, as simple as that is, without all the bells and whistles of my arms, that's technique 4. Okay, and one of my student members was asking about this, and you really do need to understand this. At its bare minimum, technique 1 is that. Leg sweep in front of their body. Okay, but I do that when they're behind me, kind of hunched over facing the same direction. But that is, at its essence, that leg sweep, that's technique 1. Technique 2, at its essence, is that inside foot sweep. If I was ankle to ankle with somebody's, or shin to shin with somebody's left foot, that sweep, and then yes, I collapse them after, but this movement, that's really technique 2. And then technique 3, I'm standing behind their left foot. So it's an outside foot sweep. That's technique 3. Technique 4, I'm standing behind them and I do this leg sweep. Okay, so it's hard on one hand because I know lots of moving pieces and where do my hands go and where are the anchor points, and by the same token, make it simple for yourself. Try to remember what you're really doing. Technique 5, on its own, without any bells and whistles, is really this. My right hand lifts their arm as my left hand throws their head through. Like I'm making this as simple, bare bones as possible. Puter Kabbalah, head and arm throw. It's technique 5, head and arm throw. Puter Kabbalah is Indonesian. In Filipino, we call that labay. Labay. Well, I can't, Guru Bryan, I can't keep all these techniques straight. Head and arm throw. Head and arm throw. Or again, technique 5, and you're like, well, that reminds me of scales or something, like using a scale at the market. I don't know. It's a bad example because I'm making it up in real time. So I'm just giving this as an example. So for you, okay, technique 5 is scales, if that'll help you remember it. Because honestly, if you learn it, who cares? I don't care what you call it. I don't care. And Guru Inosanto says that all the time. If you can remember the terminology, cool. I teach it. The reason the Indonesian, I had the Indonesian just like again, just ground into my head. So that's what I'm used to from my time at Seafood Bud School. And then a couple years later, I get to the Inosanto Academy, and it's all about like the Filipino terminology is a little bit stronger. So it's all good. Okay, so technique 5 on its own, at its essence, like lifting their arm with your right hand, throwing and descending their head, and then throwing it through with your left hand. So if we break that down, pardon me, into the way that we would kembang in it, I split, because that's what I always do. I open their, so I just split, I lower their arm with my right hand as I move in, and I elbow their brachial with my left elbow. I anchor on their left shoulder with my left hand, and I underhook their left hand with my right hand. I push down their shoulder line away diagonally 45 degrees to my left. Now I lift with my right hand, and I throw them back through that line that I just pushed them down for the knee. Okay, so that's a really important point, even though I don't have a partner. And for anybody who's watching this anywhere in the future who does Silat, this is a really important point. If in your practice, if you just reach out and take the head and arm throw, you're only getting that because the person is letting you have it. Nobody, even people with no training, nobody's going to let you just reach out and grab their head and execute that, okay? So once 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So I'm anchoring with my left hand. I'm underhooking with my right hand. This is a really important point. I knee with my left. I push down the shoulder line. So I'm pushing them away from me. Then as I start to lift and push their head down, I throw them back through on the same line that I just pushed them down. So I make this point all the time, and this might be a really good, if I can pry my daughter out of a room for a moment, just to demo this, okay? Once one, open, 2, anchor, underhook, right? It's this line on the floor. This is the line I'm talking about for visualization, okay? I have this underhook, and I have this anchor, and this is on the side of their neck. And I know it's a little hard to see without a partner. My foot's got to touch the floor. So I put it down in a way that is assistive, pushing that person down that line. Then I lift their arm and push their head down and through, and I throw them through back the other direction on the same line. This is why I put a lot of emphasis, like number 3, that I'm trying to, and I know I don't have a partner, but however you got here, my right hand is anchoring on their right shoulder, knee, push. Because where you want them to end up is here. And you end up with your right foot on the outside of this left foot. And you're pushing down this line. And so you're going to lift this up as you continue pushing my shoulder down. The head and arm throw, that's hard to visualize. The head and arm throw, let's see, boom, you're gonna swing this out. You're gonna anchor here, underhook this arm, knee me, push me this direction, lift my arm and throw my head back on the same line. But what I'm trying to explain is the coordination. Knee, push, and then throw them through that same line. Head and arm throw. Technique 6, so that I don't spend the whole class here. Technique 6, at its core, they're standing in front of my leg. My elbow is on their sternum, and I compress it, or I go straight arm and compress them at their chin until they fall over my leg. That's the basics of technique 6. Kinjin, okay? How did we get there? Well, the way that I was drilled again and again and again. Diagonal gunting, we say show them your palm, hit them with it. Step in with the right side of your body. Your right arm goes over their arms onto their sternum, and your right leg is behind their legs. Then you compress either here, Kinjitsiko, or windmill, and they trip over your leg. And that's technique 6, okay? Level 2 of my curriculum, you do all 6 of those basics with your opponent in a right lead. But technique 1 is still just on this side, right? I'm gonna visualize it here. Technique 1, leg sweep in front of the body, okay? Technique 2 is still inside foot sweep, collapse, okay? Technique 3, split, open, left elbow, left anchor, left knee, shoulder line control, downward diagonal pressure, rising diagonal pressure with the left side of my body. Technique 4 here, and then my left hand grabs their wrist. I step in with the right side of my body, right hand on their elbow or shoulder, and sweep down and back sweep with my left leg. Okay, technique 5, split, open, right elbow, right anchor, left underhook, right knee, push, hold them back. And then technique 6, diagonal gunting, show them your palm, hit them with it as you step in, left side behind them, left elbow or left straight arm compresses, okay? Give me 30 seconds during which just practice those in the air. Even if you only retain 1, just do that in the air for just a moment. I'll be right back. Okay, so excellent. So Katana's going to help me out for a moment here. So left lead, right? So technique 1, just freeze it. We're going to go super slow. You're not even going to take a fall. Here's my split. I circle this. I force her down. Here's my back sweep I knee, I end up outside this foot, and then I would take that foot and she would complete her fall. Okay, so technique one, without all the intricacies, I'm gonna put you here. Okay, jab me. So technique one, since you're all seeing it from the way that we've been doing it. Come this way. Is, I'm sorry, everybody. I gotta get out into the world and invest in a wider angle webcam for all of you. So here, right here, back sweep. Knee her in the face, I go and get this other foot, and then I would complete technique one. She would take that fall, okay? Level two, we're gonna do change your lead. The same thing, but give me your right punch. Split. Here, she's coming over here. Back sweep with my left, knee with my left, and then I'd hook that outside foot and she'd take a fall. Okay, so that's technique one. Leg sweep in front of the body. Technique two, I want you to pay attention to her feet. Okay, so she's jabbing. I'm entering, I know you can't see it, but I'm anchored under her left armpit. See where my left foot is? I'm moving my toes. Inside foot sweep, and then I collapse this with my other foot, okay? So inside foot sweep, but just this motion, that's technique two, regardless of how you finish it. That's the main point. Technique two, change your lead. Stick your right hand out for me. Okay, so I enter and inside foot sweep. If I get it deep enough where the person takes a fall, boom, without that, fantastic. But that would be level two, technique two. So it's the same 6 techniques at level two, orange eke, just she's in a right lead, okay? Technique three. Let's break this down a couple of different ways. So she jabs, and I'm doing it this way because this is the way you're experiencing it so that you see it, okay? Split, I swing this open. I right elbow, I right anchor. I knee, and I'm here. Okay, now she's a little twisted. We want to be I'm trying not to manhandle her. I obviously weigh a lot more than she does. It's this. I'm going to continue downward pressure while, boom, yeah. I sweep that out, okay? So, boom, it's a nasty fall. That's what we want, though. Because, again, Silat, wartime art. It's not martial athletics. And so I teach a lot of martial athletics, so you know I like that, okay? Right lead. Okay, so I split, I swing her open, left elbow, left anchor, left knee, here, she's already on her way out, but upward diagonal pressure with downward diagonal pressure. Okay, can I maneuver you, go back to left lead, can I maneuver you just very carefully without, to show, okay, freeze. That, go back where you were. When I knee, and when I say shoulder line control, that's what I'm really looking for. Because from there, I have that anchor point, and I can just drop her in combination with that outside foot sweep. Okay? So that's our technique three, Sapu Luar. Outside foot sweep. Technique four, left lead please, jab me. This one, I just come here, cut, okay? That's technique four, that's simple, cut, okay? That's where I wanna be. Martial arts is fun, right? You should help me every now and then. You're smiling. Okay, so one more time. And the nuances of this, again, without me being completely, bordering on abusive because of how much I outweigh her. See, I'm already, you feel that? I'm already guiding this towards that corner. And then I put this hand here. Just kind of stay right here. And then the point that I was making, in a Santo, she just kind of goes over this leg, which stays stationary. Traditionally, that sweeps back. Boom. Okay, I want like a slam dunk type of motion. I want the head to hit the floor. Boom. All right, and not that one is better than the other, because tripping over the leg can be pretty bad too. But that traditionally, that's the way we do it. Right lead. Okay, so right lead, boom. Just here. Cut. Okay, without, and again, I'm trying to avoid like slam dunking katana here. Okay. Okay, technique 5 can be really confusing when you don't see it on a person. Here's my split. My right hand opens this. See, here's my left elbow to the brachial. Here's my left anchor. Here's my right underhook. Knee, push, throw her through. Okay? And that's, I'm going, I mean, obviously I outweigh her by a ton, but I'm trying to go very light. Okay, so look at it again. Split, open into this elbow, anchor, right underhook, left knee, left shoulder line control, lift this as I spin the head through. I'm going really lightly, trying not really to drop her, but that's where we're at. Okay, second level, right lead, right punch, split, open into this anchor. I'm sorry, this elbow. This is my, I know it's hidden. Here's my right elbow, right anchor, left underhook, left knee, left shoulder, or shoulder line control, lift, and spin her through. Okay, technique 6. Change. First level. Diagonal gunting. Show her my palm, hit her with it, step in. See it? I have an arm break here. Get your balance, get your balance. Okay. I have an arm break here. This is Seiko with my elbow, or this is windmill. Eventually she's gonna go over. Okay? Right lead. Jab me. Show her my palm, hit her with it as I take position. Kinjit Seiko or windmill. Kinjit. She falls over my leg. Okay. Now, third level. Oh, I'm actually somewhat on time. Third level. Fantastic. Amazing. Third level. We're adding these 2 throws to the mix. And then I'll go over Silhig, how you get to where, and this is going to be a really good class. And not only the people who are here, but anybody watching on my channel, watch this class a few times in a row, because this is going to give you a real sense of how we progress in my curriculum, okay? And my curriculum, everybody, is a modified Mafalindo curriculum. Get back. Okay, so we add doing 2 variations off the Puder Kabbalah, the head and arm throw. So let's learn them off the jab side, okay? So she's gonna stand with her back to you. I'm gonna split. I'm gonna elbow as I descend, left elbow, right hand descends. I'm going to come in and underhook, left knee, and I haul her head down, okay? My right leg is gonna go over and take the throw, but I only want her to have to take 2 falls, and I'll go slow, and don't fight it, okay? So here, boom, hook her up, left knee, I use that to haul her head down. Right leg goes over, and I take the throw with my right leg. So I call it leg-assisted Puder Kabbalah, leg-assisted head and arm throw. It's always the opposite, everybody. Meaning, if I knee with my right to hold the head down, I'm sorry, if I knee with my left to haul the head down, I use my right leg to go over. On the other side, which I'll do for you in a moment, when I knee with my right and haul the head down, my left leg goes over to take the throw. So take a right lead, you're back to camera, okay? Split, elbow as I descend this, right anchor, left underhook. Okay, right knee, and I use gravity to haul the head down. Left leg goes over to take the throw, okay? So that's leg-assisted Puder Kabbalah. That gives us 7 techniques. So stay here, don't leave, okay? Okay, give me right there for me, okay? So everybody left lead. If you split, open and left elbow, left anchor, right underhook, left knee, haul their head down. Right leg goes over and swings through. And you're using the outside of your thigh, and it'll spin them. Everybody right lead. Split, so parry with your left, attack with your right, whatever shape. Open with your left as you elbow with the right. Right anchor, left underhook. Right knee, haul them down, haul their head down. Left leg goes over and swings them through. Okay, last variation, and then I'll show the silhik and the entry, and Filipino martial arts will be fine, and you're good. Thank you. Okay, so last one. These are our basic offense. We're going to end up with 8 basics on both sides. So she's going to jab. This is also a variation on the Puder Kabbalah. So same opening, but I'm going to knee, and I would actually do like a submission or a face lock here. Then I move this to the back of the head. I smash the person's face into my knee, and then I take the throw. Okay, so in the air, actually, let me, because this way I can wrap up and you can go relax, okay? So on the other side, everybody, split, here's right, go right lead, split, left hand opens, right elbow, anchor, underhook like usual, knee, but this wraps. I would guillotine or face lock, then this comes to the back of the head. Smash into the knee, throw the head through for the throw, okay? So we have we finish with 3 basics or 3 variations on the head and arm throw. Just with our hand, that's the way that we learn it. We've been learning it. Leg assisted, our leg goes over. And then the third and final, the one we just did, is wrap, smash, and throw. So you wrap them up, choke them or face lock. After that, transition to the back of their head, smash them, their face into your knee, and then lift their arm and throw their head through, like usual. Now, one last thing, and then I'll let Katana go back to what she was doing. Thank you, okay? So, different way of everybody getting into technique 1. Now we're gonna end on the Silhig series. This will be really good, especially for everybody who's training solo. Okay, so your partner's just gonna stand there, no lead. Okay, so, and I'll do this in the air. You all can follow along with me in the air though, even though I'm gonna demo on Katana. Okay, bicep grab, headbutt, left hand, I know it's, actually let's go over here, this way you can see. Okay, 1, bicep grab, headbutt. What's the instruction on the headbutt? Take the top of your head, smash it into their face. That's the instruction. You now know as much as you need to know. Don't use this. This will bleed. Use this, okay? Because this is cartilage. Just take the top of your head, bash it into their face. Left hand slides down to their wrist. Okay? I'll go lightly. Right hand underhooks. turn so you're facing the same direction as them, get them hunched over, and then the rest of the technique would be the same. Back sweep with the right knee and get the foot out, okay? This is a new way of getting into it. So now, without katana taking any more falls, the only thing that's different, bicep grab, headbutt, slide the left, underhook the right, turn so you're facing the same direction. From there, the rest of the technique is the same. Back sweep with your right leg, knee, get the other foot, okay? So the link up is the bicep grab. Bicep grab, headbutt, slide, underhook, break the balance. You're all ready to get into the technique, okay? Thank you. All right, so why is that important? Because green belt, I'm requiring you to learn, or green EKIT, third level of Silat, I require you to learn the Silhig series. So remember a few minutes ago, technique 1, and I was saying in Filipino, we call this Silhig, and I said that was going to be important. The Silhig series is taking technique 1 off of the jab cross, off of the jab cross hook, off of the jab cross body hook, off of the lead roundhouse kick low, the rear roundhouse kick low, the lead roundhouse kick midline, the rear roundhouse kick midline, and 1 Thai boxing 4 count. Left kick, cross, hook, right kick. Okay? Now everything I just went over, all those attacks, you're going to counter them. Bicep grab, headbutt, slide the left hand, underhook the right hand, turn and break their balance, sweep back with the right, knee their face, step in with the right, sweep the leg out. Okay? So that's why I was saying I wanted you to see it with katana because it's been a while, so you knew what we were doing. Okay? But again, I'm way back, so hopefully as much of my body will stay in frame as possible. Bicep grab. I'm not even on a lead. Headbutt. Left hand slides to their wrist. Right hand underhooks. You can step in with your right foot a little bit. You got to turn and break their balance. Right foot does technique 1, Beset Dalam or Silhig. Knees them in their face. Go and get the other foot. Sweep it out. Same way we've been practicing for weeks. Okay, so the secret, and I only want to use 2 more minutes of my FMA time. I don't want to be that late today. I know I'm shocked. The secret is bicep grab. Okay, so we'll start with just the punches, and then this will be a great way to get into class next Wednesday, especially if you can set aside a little bit of time. If I don't, I'm going to state a timetable and stick to it. If I don't get these videos uploaded tonight, I'll do it tomorrow, okay? If you can spend the week looking at this, we can really get to some stuff next week, okay? So the jab, really nothing you need to be told. You can choose, of course it's my favorite, so I always split. But then I just open the arms up. Here's my bicep grab, headbutt, slide, underhook, and then finish the technique, okay? Now jab cross, I like this technique. Split when on the jab, when the cross comes, cover and hit, and then just move in, bicep grab, headbutt, slide, underhook, break the balance, right Silhig, knee, take the far foot. So that bicep grab, headbutt, that becomes our link up for anything, okay? Now, jab cross hook, yeah, you could catch, parry, tight cover, but that's really kickboxing-esque. That's very martial athletics. No, again, no disrespect to martial athletics. I teach a bunch. Thai boxing, Silat, those are martial athletics. Western boxing, when there are rules, they're awesome, okay? Silat, though, is more of a wartime, let's inflict as much damage in the nastiest, most efficient way possible, okay? So you can stick with split, cover, and hit. The one that I'm a stickler about, tight cover with your right, bury your left thumb into their throat. That's a very Silat way of countering the jab, or excuse me, the hook, okay? So again, I mean, you could mix it. You could you all have enough background. You could Siko, you know, Wampak, but I really like that tight cover, thumb in the throat, okay? And their left arm, boom, just went out. So this one, sometimes you can just wrap it and come in and take the technique. If that's too much, here's this counter that we just did. Transition, bicep grab, headbutt, slide, underhook, finish the technique. Because at this point, what I'm trying to emphasize, even with all of us now not having a partner, once you get bicep grab, you should be like, yep, I'm good to go. That's the goal here. We have one technique, all these different ways to get into it. Because again, this has been told to me by numerous people that were involved in Silat in the United States, pivotal people to Silat in the United States in the 80s. The American Silat community, as long as somebody was giving you we used to call this the take the pulse position, they were giving you the traditional take the pulse southpaw Silat punch. The Silat guys were amazing and devastating. The minute you got a kickboxer in orthodox lead, forget it, okay? So this is a really important series because we're gonna learn how to counter kickboxing and other types of it. We're not gonna end up Silat people who can only fight other Silat people. That's what we're trying to avoid. Okay, no disrespect to any of those like American Silat pioneers in the 80s. Okay, so we will pick this up here next week. So let's finish up Silat here. Chinese, Filipino, Thai, Indonesian, French and Dog Brothers, Japanese. And again, for anybody watching, to formalize your distance training with me, please go to Stoops, my last name, STOOPSOMALC.com, like online martial arts learning community. Okay, we're going to end this recording.